What's the deal, everybody? It's your boy Shane G. We are back with another episode of the Bar Exam right here on the Ethos Media Network. Before we get any further, make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe for all the latest content. Bar Exam, OTI, Season 2 will be returning. Politics as usual, and all the new, up and coming stuff that we got coming. Also, make sure to check in on our live streams that we'll be doing twice a month, every other Thursday. Yeah, so we got some things going at Ethos. So as you can see, Allie is not here. She is enjoying some time away in Puerto Rico. So shout out to her and her twin nims, her mini twin nims that she went with. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all of them. I hope y'all having a blast. Can't wait till you get back. But in the meantime, I am here with the homies, Mr. Marcus TV, Eric G. What's going on, fellas?
You're
what is so what we're talking about today is a lot of these rappers, man. They try to trick us with their flow, right? They try to rap fast and do tricky stuff with their words, to make us think that they're rapping good. But are they actually rapping good? That's the question that we're gonna answer today. So we have a list of rappers who have a speed flow, a chopper flow. Some people know it as. You know, popularized by people like Bone Thugs back in the day. People like, so we're into that. And Marcus, why don't you start, man? You got a classic group for us, man. So why don't you start with them?
The first that I got is this classic Do or Die, Po Pimpin'. Everybody knows that, this was my first introduction to Twista and, just fast rapping, period. And, and it also started off so smooth because, you had this Chicago nigga who was doing this Nate Dogg S, do you want to ride in the backseat of a caddy? It was so smooth, and no one had heard of Do or Die. Like, no, I mean, Twista, because Twista was on the track is why because Twista had a name, but no one had heard of Do or Die. Like, if you were outside of Chicago and not on that scene, you didn't know Do or Die. But Twista's verse on Do or Die, because it's a classic. What was Twista saying? Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was a kid, so to slow it down, and actually, this is also shout out to, you got to remember too. Most people didn't know about songwriting, so Twista was on the bridge and the last verse. So so he really had like what 20 something bars instead of just the average 16. So it kind of all went into one. But we gonna like his verse starts off. I didn't see your sexy walk on the fair side. Don't so I don't be passing me by. I'm a nigga with peas and I ain't stingy with the trees. We could be some freaks and both of our asses could be hot. Fees drop fees drop us on a full of octane. With the shit sounds stupid as fuck when you read it slow. Like it doesn't even hit the same. It doesn't even give you the same kind of like what it is because it's not Twister. If you can't you need to pick up every other word. It's the cadence. It's the whole. It just doesn't really work for me if Twister's not doing it. Reading it, no justice. Rapping it, I can't rap it because I'm not no fast rapper. But Twister, Do or Die, Po Pimpin', that's a staple in a classic for me. That's what I pick.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you on that. He's definitely Twister does both. I feel like Twister's unique in that regard. As far as depending on the song, he might actually be talking some shit if you break the lyrics down. And then sometimes he just, like you said, just kind of makes it sound good by letting it go
Told and
fast. You know what I'm saying? What you think?
Yeah.
It's very past the like. You just
You can almost tell when Twista is like phoning it in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when he's just like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna rap fast on this verse and just let it be whatever. Whereas like on certain verses, like on like slow jams,
Oh,
you could
well,
tell he like
yeah,
really
yeah.
broke
He put
he like
that-
really broke things down and made sense. Even
Yeah.
with the fast
Shit,
rap.
if I'm not mistaken, on slow jams, didn't he go like? Didn't he do like a Starlito Don trip, like 4-bar, but like back and forth with it, like a slow and fast?
Basically,
Yeah.
because he had a fast flow at at certain parts of the song, but then he slowed it down at certain parts of the
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Eric, who you got, bro?
All right, I'm gonna start off with the haymaker. So everybody loves Busta Rhymes, right? Everybody pretty much considers Busta Rhymes a top tier MC. I don't really see much debate on that much when it comes to Busta Rhymes. He's a top tier MC. However, in a lot of these lyrics that we're breaking down, that where people are just rapping fast and not saying a lot in what they're rapping fast about, Busta Rhymes has been a culprit of this. And he's been a culprit of this on one of the most poppin' songs that he's ever been on. Look at Me Now with Chris Brown and Lil Wayne. And it's funny because, Shane, we didn't even talk about this, but he starts the verse off talking about some, hey, yo, Breezy, let me show you how to keep the dice rolling.
So he starts off the verse talking shit, like, I'm about to kill this shit.
Yeah.
All right, get into the verse, bro. What does he say?
Because I'm feeling like I'm running, and I'm feeling like I gotta get away. Get away. Get away. Better know that I don't, and I won't stop, because you know that I gotta win every day. See, they really, really want to pop me. Just know that you will never flop me. And I know that I can be a little cocky. You ain't never gonna stop me. Every time I come, I got a nigga gotta set it, then I gotta go, and then I gotta get it, and then I gotta blow, and then I gotta show that any little thing a nigga think that he be doing, cause it don't matter, cause I'm gonna da 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 da. Cause I'm gonna da 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 da.
He did say that.
He did. But it's
I remember
I'm gonna murder everything and anything about a boom, about a bing.
Slow down. It's
horrible.
It's horrible.
He didn't say anything in
He
that
did
verse,
not say
bro.
anything in that verse.
Hey, he didn't try.
Hey, you want to know what I just had a new appreciation for right now in this moment that I didn't even think of?
Go.
It's DJ Screw. Because DJ Screw chopped and slowed lyrics down that wasn't stupid and made shit dope that you wanted the Screw mix. But I can't see the Look at Me Now DJ Screw version, and it's dope.
How could it be when you actually understand what he's saying? Like, the reason why that song works, in my opinion, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong, the reason why that song works is, one, because Chris Brown is rapping on it, which is not normal. So you throw him on a fire beat and he's rapping on a single. It's like, oh shit, Chris Brown, the rapper? Like, niggas know, but like mainstream audiences don't really identify with him as being a rapper. They identify with him as being an R&B singer. So,
and I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Let's keep it real. He got off on the first couple verses.
Yeah, he did all right. He did all right. Like, he can rap, but he's just not known for that. So the fact that he did that on a single is almost like a shock value thing, right? So there's that. I think that's part of why it worked. And then two, when it comes to Busta's part, he raps fast, but it's such a simple verse that the average person can rap along with it, even though it's really fast. Like, everybody can say what Eric just said. First, I'm gonna not flop, then I gotta jot, then I gotta plot. Like everybody can say that in the club when you're drunk. Like it's easy, and it makes you feel like you can rap good. So like that's why that works. You know what I'm saying? It's not because it's actually good. Like it sounds okay. Like
because people thought that when that song came on in the club and whenever they're feeling it, that if they could rap along to that, just like you said, they thought they were the man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they thought that they had it at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I'm gonna get into mine, and I just want to show y'all the contrast real quick of what a fast rap that's actually also lyrical looks like. So of course, you see the hat, so Detroit, what up though? We're going with the homie Eminem.
Of course.
And the verse that I'm gonna break down for y'all is from Lucky You. It's him and Joyner Lucas. M is on the second verse. And this is how he starts that actual verse. Like, because he has kind of like there's not really a real hook on the song. So it's like his part that could kind of be considered the hook. I'm not going to include that part. I'm going to include the just rapping part. So he starts off. I got a couple of mansions. Still, I don't have any manners. Now, right away. If you don't know what a manor is, it's a large house with a lot of land. So he has a couple of mansions, but he has no manners. So nice play on words immediately out the gate. You got a couple of ghostwriters, but to these kids, it don't actually matter. They're asking me what the fuck happened to hip hop. I said I don't have any answers because I took an L when I dropped my last album. It hurt me like hell, but I'm back on these rappers. I'm actually coming from humble beginnings. I'm somewhat uncomfortable winning. I wish I could say what a wonderful feeling. We're on the upswing like we're punching the ceiling. That's, you can say it's a cheesy line or whatever, but mixed in with that rhyme scheme is great. He continues, but nothing is feeling like anyone has any fucking ability to even stick to a subject. It's killing me. The inability to pen humility. Why don't we make a bunch of fucking songs about nothing and mumble them? So he's taking a shot at everybody. Fuck it, I'm going for the jugular. Shit is a circus. You clowns that are coming up don't give an ounce of a motherfuck about the ones that were here before you that made rap. And then he kind of gets into like a little choppier, more simple flow. But he brings it back when he starts getting into this flow, which is crazy. I really want everybody to go back and listen to the song because he's rapping this so fast. Like, it doesn't even make sense. But he says, but I think it's inevitable that they know But I think it's inevitable they know what button to press or what lever to pull to get me to snap, though. And if I paid attention, I'm probably making it bigger, but you'll be taking a dick to the fucking backhoe. On the brink any minute, got me thinking of finishing everything with an amphetamine and reaping the benefits. I'm asleep at the wheel again as I peek into thinking about an evil intent of another beat I'ma kill again. Because even if I gotta end up eating a pill again, even ketamine or methamphetamine with a mini thin, it better be at least 70 to 300 milligram, and I might as well because I'm gonna end up being a villain again. Like, and the way he breaks all that down in the flow, like, is incredible to me. So that's an example of like lyrical fast rap. And a lot of people feel like, oh, he's just rapping for the sake of rapping fast and all that kind of stuff. But when you break down the lyrics, he's still just as ill as he ever was, like as far as on the clever side of things. It's just flow that's different to me. But what do y'all think?
Well, that was a knock on Eminem for a long time that, he wasn't rapping lyrically, he was rhyming, because people wasn't catching what he was. And then, that was that battle rap, freestyle kind of era too, where, he came from, niggas would come on a cypher and spit 60 bars about nothing. You've seen those ciphers. Niggas ain't talking about nothing, but
And the thing is, not to cut you off, but the thing is, as a rapper, you have to have like 40, 48 bars just in the tuck about nothing.
Yeah.
be able to spit at any
Yeah.
given time. I got caught
Yep.
slipping one time like that. I was out hanging out with some friends or whatever, and this dude approached me. He understood, like he knew that I was like in college. I was like the rap nigga at the school. You know what I'm saying? Like I was the nigga that they would ask
Hey,
to
bro,
do
why you
shows,
laughing,
fashion
man?
shows.
That nigga said that nigga approached me.
Nigga approached me. He said, "Hey," well, he approached the group I was with. He said, "Hey, which one of y'all niggas is Shane G?" I said, "That's me."
Whoa.
He said, "You rap?" I said, "Yeah." And he just starts spitting like a hard verse. And I was so thrown off and I didn't have nothing on deck. And he made me look weak as hell. So that taught
that's
me a lesson.
whack.
From then on, if I'm going to call myself a rapper, which I don't anymore, but when I was, when I called myself a rapper, you got to have some bars because the nigga might approach you. But anyway, Marcus, go ahead.
Nah, that's it right there. I feel like that was our Gilly the Kid and Wallow moment because Shane was looking at you. Yeah, when I walked up with that iron sig, I left out that iron sig, son, and Shane was like
That's
he
the
was
fuck.
Hey, yo.
well, I was like, where the fuck was I at? When
Like, he
niggas
was
was walking
doing
up
all
on you
of this.
and didn't move.
He was hitting me with all of that shit.
And he's just like,
Yo,
what?
that nigga came up and started rapping, and Shane started looking like a deer in the headlights.
Nigga, for real. I was like, damn, I thought we was chilling today. I got to battle a nigga. I'm not ready. I spit like a half a verse that I remember. And I was like, dog, I ain't.
Hey, okay. I hate to put you on the spot. Do you remember that verse?
The verse that I spit or the verse that you spit?
No, that you spit.
No, I don't. The only verse, I have some verses off the top of my head that I do remember, but that shit was in 2008, 2009 or some shit. I don't remember that shit at all.
Oh, man, I hadn't even graduated from high school yet by that.
Yeah, that shit was a long ass time ago.
I feel old as fuck, nigga. I had my second daughter in 08.
Yeah, I was in my third year of college in 08. So I was like 20, 21. Yep. Hell yeah.
Man,
well, yeah. So, yes. Rappers out there, you know what I'm saying? If you call yourself a rapper, have some bars on deck. But,
hey, that used to be like a G, like, you know, like a G check. You know, they would come up to you, hey, yo, son, let me hear something. Let me hear something was an audition. Like, and if you didn't have anything to say when they said, let me hear something, you, oh, nigga, he ain't about this shit here. And you could have been the, you know, at that time there was a line between studio rappers and gangsta and street rap. You know, there was a separation. There was a line that, you know, you couldn't be a studio rapper and not have the gangster element on the street and be, you know, oh man, he ain't rapping what he talking about. He just in there fly, you know, or whatever, faking it, flogging, or whatever you wanted to call it. So if somebody walked up, and that was another thing, depending on who walked up to you and said, let me hear something, if he was the OG or if he was, you know, the quote unquote one of the top, and you was a little low, or you was somebody up under, it was like, oh shit, this is my opportunity to, you know, let me hear something, and you on the spot. That was it. That don't happen nowadays. Because Nick, you
know what it was too? You know what it was too, before we get back on subject and Marcus hit us with your next artist. But part of it also was because I had kind of gotten comfortable at that point because I was part of an organization, right? And the organization that I was part of has a sister organization. And the sister organization that exists has chapters at other schools, right? So by proxy of us being our chapters, you know, brother organization or whatever, we got to fuck with the ones at all the other schools. So whenever they would throw events and stuff, they would hit me up to rap too. So I was like, kind of not like tooting my own horn or no shit like that, but I was kind of like popular in the college circuit in Michigan. Like people at different campuses knew me for rapping type shit. And it was off of the strength of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but so I kind of got comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have to necessarily have rhymes on deck and all this type of shit. It wasn't like nobody was coming from my spot really. Like niggas just kind of knew like, oh, he the rapper. Like that's what it is. Like anybody he raps with can get some shine too, but he the rapper. Like that's kind of how it was for like the first few years until this nigga showed up. So then I was like, oh shit, now I got competition. Now I gotta be on my square. So, after that I went back to the city in Detroit and shit, and then it was back like that, where it was like, no, I got rhymes for days, like just memory, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, off me reminiscing about my old rapper days. Marcus, who's your next artist, bro?
Next artist is the legendary Bizzy Bone. I picked the song Notorious Thugs because you can't go wrong with It's Bone and Biggie, Biggie, It's Bone and Biggie, Biggie, It's Bone and Biggie, Biggie. That Notorious. Everybody knows that. Like, if you don't know, it's people who don't know a Bone song but think that, Bone and Biggie is Biggie's, is Bone's song, and it's not. It was on Life After Death. It's Biggie's song, but people just really think that it's just a Bone Thugs and Harmony song. But you go scroll all the way down to the last verse, and you got Bizzy Bone after the I'll say number 2 rapper in the game at the time, because everybody puts Tupac and Biggie in there 1-2. Ain't armed and dangerous. Ain't too many can hang with us. That was my Gravy impression, because I feel like he's the only rapper. He's the one. So you go to the end and you see where Bizzy is. He starts off cool because you hear all of these words. 7 a.m. woke in the morning with the hen and caffeine and green and nicotine. No D's, pop a couple of D's, look, and then you just start with after the Mr. Clean and the Make It Glean. The next thing you hear, it says deep in my temple, not to. You don't hear that shit. You hear sentimentally scream, and then you hear that is with my instrumentally and heated, especially for your team. You don't understand what the fuck Bizzy was saying when you caught his rhyme words. You didn't catch what was before them rhyme words. No one.
You know what? I'll be wondering sometimes, like, do they be making some of that shit up after the spot? Like, they don't know what that nigga actually said, and I don't even know if that nigga knows what he actually said.
No, I don't know.
That nigga be off drugs, bro. So like,
no way.
I'm like, do they be filling the gap in a little bit sometimes? I feel like with that nigga right there.
I don't think they know what the fuck they be saying. I'm gonna say no, they don't. And battling drugs and alcohol like Biggie had, like Bizzy Bone has, you can't tell me that you remember that shit. You can't. No way. You can't. And let's go back to the verses.
How you feel about niggas calling him the first mumble rapper?
I believe so. I believe it, and I will say that because when he was doing it, it wasn't mumble rap. Shit. The same thing we talking about with the fucking basketball. They talking about like this right here. He did the John Cena. Hip hop people know that it's the Tony Yayo. It's not the
John Cena admits that. Shout out Yayo.
That's not the John Cena. That Tony Yayo did that shit. In G Unit. Before GU not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's if you really want. So when you say the first to do, this is why when we got into that earlier episode of trap music, between T.I. and Jeezy, just because you can say something first doesn't mean you can be known and put it on the map. So Bizzy Bone was definitely the first mumble rapper because we weren't calling it mumble rap.
You just ain't call it that.
Yeah, so if you want to go back into hip hop aficionados, want to go back to the hip hop time capsule and oh no, Bizzy did it first, but when Bizzy did it, we weren't calling it that. We just weren't. Shit, I don't.
Yeah.
There's gonna be another.
No, that's a fact.
There's gonna be another mogul or P. Diddy ghostwriter CEO. Could you imagine if Jay Prince had bars? Like I'm talking about like something like Jay Prince was on songs and had bars. You know, people like, oh man, he's so dope. He doing X, Y, Z, he's spitting that gangster shit. And you know, somebody's gonna be like, no, I mean, Master P did that first. Or Diddy did that years ago. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't the first, you know, that he just wasn't the first one to do it, but he got on doing it. Or, you know, Baby Ben did that. You know, it's gonna go back into this timetable of who did what when, but we weren't calling it that. No one in the no one says Baby is the dopest rapper. So I can agree that Bizzy Bone was the first mumble rapper because we didn't know what the fuck he was saying.
Speaking of Bizzy Bone, so this is gonna be probably the first episode where we actually both picked the same artist. We do have different songs though, so I also picked Bizzy Bone. Because for the most part, you know, when you listen to the other members of Bone Thugs, you can understand them niggas, you know what I'm saying? You might not be able to rap along, but you can understand what they're saying, you know what I mean? Like, if you break it down, they're clearly enunciating words. So it's like, all right. But Bizzy, though, this guy. So the song I'm talking about is Look Into My Eyes. It was after, so if you know the story of Bone Thugs, just real quick, it's pretty complicated. So after the first album, Bone Thugs has 5 members, right? There's Lazy, there's Crazy, there's Flesh, there's Wish, and there's Bizzy, right? So after the first album, Flesh gets locked up for a long ass time, right? This nigga's not on no albums after the first one for mad years. Bizzy has a history of getting kicked out and returning and leaving and coming back and then getting kicked out again. And, you know, throughout the whole history of Bone Thugs, it's always been like this. So this was after one of the first kickouts and him coming back. So I just want to bring all that up because, again, you know, we're not making fun of bro, but dog definitely has some drug issues. I don't care if he doesn't admit it. He says he's fine, whatever. I don't believe you, nigga. So, with all that said, this is his verse from Look Into My Eyes, which is on the album The Art of War, which was, you know, it was a straight album. That was the album that had the Tupac collaboration on it, Thug Love. So, check that out. But, so he says, coming through the door with my militia, why do they bring big niggas? Fuck y'all. With a gang of bodyguards, my niggas are stone cold killers, peelers, stepping out the limos with the bitch soldiers maintain, giving my babies all of my money, but my diamonds steady be shining. My gang, you know me, homies get more love, and I'm blessed when I'm out of my sentence. Pump my fist to Mo Thug. Gotta keep the Lord up over my shoulders. Jesus sent me his roller loco, sober, load a revolver, hold up. Now buck them all to hell because I'm showing them. Like, this is nonsense. This doesn't mean anything. Like, like, and to bring up your point, Marcus, before I let y'all, you know, give me your thoughts. The stepping out of the limos, the bitch soldiers maintain, giving my babies all of my money, but my diamonds steady be shining. You don't understand that part. You don't know what the fuck he's saying at that part. I didn't know he ever said that until right now reading those lyrics. So, thoughts on Lazy Bone?
You know, I gotta also put out this disclaimer before we continue. We're doing this show in 2023.
Yes.
You know, when these songs came out, there was I want to say, was it AZ Lyrics or allhiphoplyrics.com was the only place to really get a song, and then it was people doing it so they could even get it wrong. There was no Google this shit. There was no ask.
Right.
Shit. You know,
I get exactly what you're saying. The only way to really figure out what he was saying was
Genius didn't exist back then.
Yeah, you had to listen for this shit, and then you were listening to it on a CD or on a tape. You wasn't listening to it digitally. So, you know, that, you know, people like, oh, we didn't know what he was saying. No one knew what they were saying. That no one knew. So, you know, that just, I feel like that needs to be said too. At the time when these niggas got on, no one knew what they was. No one knew what you was mumbling about. We just know that shit sound hard. You nigga killed that shit. What'd he say? Oh shit, nigga, I don't know. Hit the weed.
Yeah, man. Eric, what are your thoughts on Bone Thugs? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get your, Bone Thugs as a whole, but specifically Busy Bone, because I was playing you some shit earlier and you were just laughing like, oh
yeah. I mean, I've always had an appreciation for Bone Thugs just because, like, they come from the Midwest and, like, the Midwest music, just like coming up on that, like, I really like learned to love and appreciate it. With that being said, a lot of them niggas couldn't rap for real. Let's just keep it a stack. They were good at making songs. They were really good at making songs. But as far as just rapping, there was really only one, maybe two.
Mm-hmm.
That was like consistently like solid to me.
Lazy and Crazy.
Yeah, and Crazy is the other.
Lazy and Crazy. Those are the only two niggas
Lazy
that are actually
was always
all
consistent. Lazy always kept a good verse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But when it came to Busy, man, some of them early verses, man. Like, yeah, that mumble rap label, like, even if he wasn't trying to emulate that, like, yeah, that's what he was doing. You could put a lot of those verses on beats today and they would sound, and if you throw some auto-tune on that shit, it will sound like a lot of the same shit that is out right now.
That's very true. That's a good point. That's a good point. All right, Eric, you close it out, man. You bring it home. We're one of the new homies. You know what I'm saying? Bring us a newer version of a fast rapper.
Yeah. I'll bring it home. So I wanted to talk about somebody that I feel like doesn't really get talked about enough because he doesn't really put out enough music, but I feel like his output so far has been pretty good. So I wanted to talk about Ski Mask Slump God. So for those who don't know, Ski Mask is a rapper from Florida. He actually became popular because him and the late XXX Tentacion came up together. So him and XXX came up out of that like Florida hard style, but Ski Mask kind of took a different approach with it. I feel like XXX kind of made music that was like a little more grungier, a little more on the like rock aesthetic, like whereas like Ski Mask was like diving into like the old school hip hop type classics. And you could tell because like he always said his biggest influences were Missy and Tim. And on one of the songs, I mean, he flips one of Missy's songs on the one that I'm going to talk about right here, but on the Catch Me Outside record, I mean, he flips Missy's whole song and makes it into something that is completely his own, and puts like the new nigga spin on it, like naming shit like Naruto, Nine Tails, Foxtail Fur, I feel like a Gucci ad lib burr, colder than Coca-Cola mascot, polar bear, put sauce on my lasagna, it could make a Garfield purr. Like, he's naming like shit, like the anime, like the early cartoons that we grew up on. And then he continues. I ain't really fucking with these niggas like a dyke. New Kellogg's Tiger, I tell him to earn your stripes. You could be me bit, but you could never in your life. Even if you had on my sneakers, I could bow wow like Mike. Like, he's naming shit that that like we as like young 90s kids like grew up on, like, and even like getting into like the like early 2000s shit. Like, he's even naming shit that like we're coming up on, like getting a little older and shit. So I just really appreciated this verse because like he's rapping it fast, but he's also talking about a lot of shit that like he's bringing you into his world of like how old he is. Like, I'm pretty sure he was born in 93. So that tells you a good landscape of like the verse that he's talking about, of like the things that like he's into. So I just like that he can incorporate those things into his verse and also rap it fast, and also bring in the Missy influence, bring in the Tim influence, because if you listen to a few of his songs that he has on his projects, few Timbaland produced songs. So like he's tapped in, so he knows what's going on. So yeah, shout out to Ski Mask. Ski Mask is one of those guys that as far as the new guys, that I feel like is very, very slept on. And I feel like whenever he puts out that full project of like merging the fast rapping and then like his also artistry together, it's gonna come together and people are gonna really fuck with it. And if people have not looked up that music video, watch the Catch Me Outside video.
That's what I was.
That is
say,
a fantastic.
That's one of. I really like that video. That video is.
Catch Me Outside,
really
you said.
cool.
Because I'm unfamiliar
Yes.
with this. So I'm gonna definitely go check that shit out. And if he is half of what you just said, it was a lot of Florida niggas that I just not on. Like the Florida way.
I'll put it like this: I didn't know he was from Florida.
Yeah, like it's a lot of Florida. Like, I don't want to say Florida's gimmicky to me, but Florida just never had nobody that was authentic to me. Me, I'm not, that's just, it's just me. I'm not saying that they don't have those rap. I'm just saying that everybody like, oh yeah, they from Florida. I'm like, oh shit, another one of these niggas. Like, yeah, it was just that. So, but
you
no,
would
I'm gonna
never know
out
he's
for real.
from Florida if you listen to him.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Oh, okay.
I thought he was from the East Coast somewhere. I mean, technically Florida's the East Coast, but you know what I mean, like
Okay,
northeast.
Yeah.
Right. Well, shit, yeah. That was the show, y'all. Y'all check out these songs that we all name dropped, you know what I'm saying? Because, really break down what they saying, you know what I mean? Don't let these niggas trick you with a flow and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, make these niggas actually rap, But other than that, y'all, this is Shane G on behalf of my homies, Mr. Marcus TV, the Eric G Life. This is the Bar Exam. Allie will be back next week, so don't even trip. But until then, like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.